wish my lights were brighter because you can barely see them in the video. Hey guys, it's Youre, and today I'm doing my July/Booktubeathon wrap up. So in the month of July, I read a total of 10 books, and most of them I enjoyed a lot, and so let's just go ahead and get started. So the first book I read in the month of July is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. One thing, I am absolutely devastated because I was traveling and I was on the plane reading this book, and it was in my sister's backpack, and I took it out and like the pages got all wet. The back is like kind of deformed now, and it's just kind of damaged. It looks really weird now, and I'm really sad about it, but I had to kind of just deal with it. Anyway, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I was kind of hesitant because I like Laini Taylor's writing. I read Daughter of the Smoke and Bone trilogy, which is one of Laini Taylor's other books. I didn't really like. I read the first book and then I dropped it. I couldn't read the second book. Then I started again. I read the first book, got through the second book. I started the third book and I couldn't finish it, and I still haven't finished it to this day. Probably I'm gonna finish it later on someday. I don't know when, but I haven't completed her trilogy yet, but I've heard this sounded so magical and just so unique and different, and so I just decided to pick it up and see what I thought. In the beginning, it took me a while to kind of get into, but later on I was fully hooked. I loved it so much. The writing is so beautiful, just like Laini's writing is. I love her writing, and plus I love the cover. It's really shiny and it's really pretty, and overall this book is beautiful. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm sweating because it's really hot here, and I'm just deal with it. So the next book I read in the month of July is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. It is a reread for me actually because I read it a while ago, but I wanted to reread it again because I wanted to read Our Dark Duet. The Savage Song is so good. I love Victoria Schwab in general. I love her Shades of Magic series. I haven't finished it. I haven't read A Conjuring of Light yet, but I really want to, and this series is about a girl that wants to be as ruthless as her father, and a monster that wants to be human. And by the way, this city is where monsters and humans live, and basically it's really good, and you guys should all read it. Of course, as I read The Savage Song, I of course read Our Dark Duet. Our Dark Duet is the sequel to The Savage Song, and I gave this about 4.5-ish out of 5 stars. It was really good, but I didn't enjoy it as much as The Savage Song. But overall, it was a really good story. The ending was heartbreaking. I got spoiled for something because one of my best friends read it before me, and she spoiled it for me, and I was really mad. But overall, like, I was expecting the spoiler, but if I didn't know, I would be totally surprised, which is something I'm always looking for in a book. The next book I read was actually from the library, and that is Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner. This book I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it so much. I loved it so much that I made a review for it, which I'll link down below in the description box. But overall, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's about a deaf Indian main character, which I've never read about, and I've never read about any deaf girl in general, I'm so glad that I read this because it gave me so much insight into what her life was like. And also, she's a street artist, and I've never read anybody that had a hobby that was so unique and yet so dangerous, kind of, and I really loved that about the book. But if you want my whole thoughts, again, my review is in the description. Then I read another library book, which is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This book is about a transgender girl who used to be Andrew, and now she's Amanda, and basically it's her life and how she makes friends, and she keeps her secret, but she makes friends. She confides in this one girl, and she meets people, and it's about her whole journey at school and how she really deals with it and how she keeps this part of her identity with her, and the story is really good. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't absolutely amazing, but it was a good book because I've never read a book about a transgender main character, and so it was a really interesting read for me. Then I read another library book, and that is A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. Torch is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and it's a very good book. The writing is beautiful. It was a while since I read Ember in the Ashes, so I kind of fell in love with her writing because I just love her writing, and I give this, again, of course, 4.5 to 5 out of 5 stars, and overall is a really enjoyable read. Then I read When Diplomat Rishi by Sandhya Menon. This book, 5 out of 5 stars. amazing. I loved this so much, and I know it's like cliche in some aspects, but like some aspects are just so adorable and cute, and I loved it. This book is about a girl named Dimple, and she's very career driven. She is accepted into Stanford. She knows what she wants to do in life. She wants to go to coding camp over the summer. Then Dimple's mother wants her to get married and trying to find the ideal Indian husband for her daughter, and Dimple doesn't want that. He is a boy who is a complete hopeless romantic. He totally wants to do everything his parents tell him. He's a very traditional guy, and so he wants to go with the traditions, and he wants to find a wife for himself. So his parents tell him that there is a girl named Dimple Shah at this coding camp, and he goes to this coding camp to find her. And then Dimple and Rishi meet up. By the way, they're meeting up. Their first time they meet. It's iconic. Love that scene so much. But anyway, they meet up. Dimple finds out about him and how he had a picture of her and how her parents went. And she gets mad because she thought her parents set this up for her and Rishi so they could meet and maybe get married. I don't know. But then the whole story starts. She starts liking him and the whole story follows them. Look, I get it's very cliche and in some aspects it's very cheesy, but overall I love the story so much. And one of the reasons I love it so much is that because Dimple and Rishi are both Indian, and Dimple is an Indian girl, and I am not Indian, but I'm Pakistani, so that is a country that is next to India, and so some aspects of our culture I could really relate to. And this is a book that's one of the first times I'm actually seeing myself in a character, like not despite like she's not Pakistani, but like as I said, they're very close in some aspects. So some aspects I really enjoyed just because I could relate to it. I read The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This book follows a girl named Molly, who is fat, and that's just a fact about her. The story doesn't follow her, and it's not about her being fat, it's just fact about her. But I think it's really nice because it promotes body positivity and body diversity in books, which I really enjoy. And so Molly is an expert in unrequited love. She's had 26 crushes and none of them have liked her back, and her sister Cassie has told her to kind of grow up and woman up and get out of these crushes. But then Cassie herself falls into love with a girl named Meena, and she herself is now lovesick. Of course, Meena has a friend that now Molly likes, and Molly's co-worker also is there, and so she kind of develops feelings for both of them, and the story follows them. This book is very diverse in many ways. Like, Molly is fat, so that's body diversity. Molly's sister Cassie is gay or bisexual, I forgot which one it is, but yes. And Molly also has two moms. One of her moms is a lesbian and one of her moms is bisexual, and so there's a lot of representation there. One of my favorite scenes from this book was when Molly's and Cassie's mothers got married, and that was absolutely such a beautiful scene because you could totally see how happy they were, and not just Molly and Cassie but her moms were so happy, and it was just so nice to see in this book. Then I read a graphic novel. I read in really an hour, and that is Sisters by Raina Telgemeier. Raina is a fantastic graphic novel writer. I always love her books, and this one is about two sisters. It's about Raina, the author's relationship with her sister, and it's basically in a graphic novel form. And this book I gave 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Like, if you like graphic novels and you like cute sibling stories, then you should definitely read this book. Then I have another graphic novel, and that is Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. And again, is the author of Sisters, and this is about two sisters who move to a new city in California, and the town is obsessed with ghosts, and it's the story of them and how they discover and they connect with the whole Dia de los Muertos festival that they have in California in their city. And it's a really sweet story about family and friendship, and it's so adorable. I always love Raina's books. By the way, I forgot to mention that these 4 books, When Dimple Met Rishi, Upside, Sisters, and Ghosts, I read during the Booktubeathon because I participated in the Booktubeathon this year. Booktubeathon was so great. It was my first Booktubeathon. It was so fun to participate in the video challenges, Twitter sprints, the reading challenges. Unfortunately, I could not read 7 books even though I really wanted to, but I read as much as I could. I was up until 2 a.m. every day reading. I was reading night and day, and yes, there was a lot of sleep deprivation, but it was totally worth it. I tried to film every single challenge video, but I didn't do it for day 6, 7, and I believe 4, because for 6 and 7 I was gone on vacation with my family, and for 4 it was you had to cosplay as a character, and I didn't feel like doing that, so I didn't do it. But story is that for the one that was that you had to act a scene out, I was totally not gonna do it because I was like, no, I don't like acting. I knew that there was gonna be like a reenact a scene type of challenge, and I was totally dreading it. But then I was like, no, this is the booktubeathon, you need to have fun, step out of your comfort zone, and I totally did it, and I had a lot of fun. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description, but I had a lot of fun with it. Booktubeathon was a huge success for me, and I really can't wait for next year. And the last book I read in the month of July is Saint Anything by Sarah Dessen. Book is one of Sarah Dessen's first books that I've read, and basically, actually, Sarah Dessen came to an event here in my city's local library, actually. I don't know if it was signing or just an event, but she actually came, but I didn't go because I hadn't read any of her books. And then like a week later, I read Saint Anything. Saint Anything, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. At first, I was kind of about the story, but overall during the book I started liking it more and more, and overall I really enjoyed it. So that is my July wrap up. Let me know down below what was your favorite book that you read in the month of July, as I would love to know. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.